Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Chef James MacInnis. And over the last several videos I've been doing a deep dive into India, and bordering India happens to be China. So I've decided to take a look at some Chinese food as well. This doesn't mean we're stopping or abandoning our deep dive into India. It just means that there's more than one day in a week, so I can put more than one video out in a week. I started to do 2 a week. I'm going to continue probably doing Sundays on my deep dive into India, and we're going to start touring Asia on Thursdays. So I had a bit of a difficulty finding, it's the way I was searching on YouTube. So I felt a little embarrassed with the answer ChatGPT gave me on how to find what I was looking for. I said to it, I'm having trouble finding authentic Chinese cooking done in Mandarin or Cantonese with English subtitles, and it said try searching for Chinese cooking in Mandarin with English subtitles, and I went, why didn't I just type that in? So we're here on the Taste Show. I haven't watched it really, but I've skimmed through just to hear it's spoken in I'm going to assume in Mandarin with English subtitles. So this is kind of more the authentic made for Chinese people videos I was looking for. So, with that said, we're going to be doing the Taste Show, easy beef recipe, black pepper beef stir fry, amazing knife skill, Taste Show. Like I said, we're here on the Taste Show, and if you're watching this video before I hit 2,000 subscribers, just note, I'm going to take 3 or 4 videos, recipes from my, exclusively this time just from the Indian reactions. I'm going to put them up in a poll, and I'm going to let you guys vote on which one you want to see me make. If it does well, it's going to become a monthly feature where I'll open it up to all videos I react to. We'll poll maybe 3 or 4 of them, put them into the poll, and let you guys pick every month what I cook.
Hi, I'm Chef Zhang. 感谢您关注我们的视频，别忘了点击这个链接订阅我们的网站，观看上千道料理及专属节目。
Okay, so right off, I like that they're starting out with flank steak for a beef stir fry. I worked at a Mexican restaurant when I was in high school, my first time behind the line, and we had flank steaks. They came pre-marinated. You'd get them in like a bubble wrap to a sheet. You'd open them up, unroll them, and they were there. We called it fajita meat. And you'd get an order for a vegetable or for a beef fajita. You'd throw it on the grill while the pan guy sautés up the vegetables. So kind of like a stir fry, but not really. And then, so you can see he's already split it. What looks like he's already split it with the grain 3 times. So with the grain. So if this is the flank steak, he's gone with the grain to create shorter segments. Now that he's going to cut against the grain to create that tenderness. Also, did you see I was cutting on a long diagonal bias? So what if you just cut it straight, you're only going to get a small amount of surface area. But if you cut it long, every time you go to make that long cut, you can get 2-3 times the surface area. And what does 3 times the surface area mean? Well, it means that it's going to have more exposure to the flavors you put in it. Like, I'm not sure what's going to go in here for some kind of sauce or marinade or seasoning, but it's going to let the meat really get more contact with that. It's also going to increase or decrease the amount of time necessary for the meat to pick any flavor up. So the one thing that I'll notice about Chinese food and even Japanese food too is the intricate knife skills that's necessary. They really showcase their artistry that way. You can see, so he's using like a Chinese vegetable cleaver. I'm not sure the name of that knife. I cut, like for example, he did the peppers. He took the tops off, top and bottom off, turned it sideways, and then just rolled out the ribs to get the core out. I do the same thing at work when I do peppers, except I'll use my chef's knife for the big cuts, switch to a paring knife to run it out, then back to my chef knife for my julienne. We julienne them for our purposes. So I'm always working the two knives back and forth, my chef's knife or my shintaku, whichever mood I'm in, and my paring knife. Those two sit right beside my cutting board all day long. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing throughout the day, boning knife will come in, or a scimitar for cutting steaks. But yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with the accuracy that they're displaying, and the fact that with those paper thin cuts he's going for. By contrast with what I've watched on the Indian food so far, the Indian food seems to be all about big flavor, right? Those curries have lots of fresh spices, stone ground stuff. They're opening up these drawers with dozens of spices, and in various forms. Like you might have chili powder, whole chilies, crushed chilies. So there's a wide variety there. And spices grow in tropical climates, so they just happen to be gifted there with the right climate to grow these amazing spices. So it makes sense that their food in India is very spice forward. And I don't mean spice is heat, although that can be the case. I mean spice is flavor spice. Like it's very flavorful, and really gives you that oomph. I've noticed a lot. So Chinese food is just a lot more common here. I've noticed a lot with like Chinese food. It really is more artistry than even like French cuisine. But that was a very simple yet I'm sure flavorful marinade on the beef, and I'm sure that this is going to be one of those recipes so far from the looks of it where every ingredient is going to speak for itself in a way. Oh. Okay, so this is now the first difference that I'm noticing between the way we would prepare stir fry here. We generally don't put brunoised vegetables. Usually it's all like a uniform julienne. So I'm not sure where the brunoise celery is going to go. Considering the celery was brunoised, I'm not surprised that the carrot's also brunoised, but I'm still wondering why. So with how hot woks get and how thin that beef is cooked, it's going to be how thin that beef is cut. It's going to get cooked relatively fast. I wouldn't imagine the cooking time on that beef to be more than a minute and a half. So they didn't show the onion cutting, and that's fine. But the pepper, so the onion and the pepper cooked, they were cut uniform in size. And clearly, I'm going to assume, so if this were in French cooking, the beef, we'd be looking to incorporate the fond, but you wouldn't get that in a non-stick wok. Those woks are non-stick. So if you were doing this in like a skillet, you would get a little stickage. And we would like that in French cooking. We would say that that's sticking. We would then deglaze it with some soy sauce, and then you would have the fond to pick up that flavor. And that's what we would do different if we were making like a European version of a stir fry. So if anybody knows why, can you tell me why they're using both cornstarch and a potato starch slurry? Is there a reason you want that double thickening? Does one provide anything that the other doesn't?
Knife skill is at the heart of Chinese cuisine.
Oh, what's this? Is this the amazing knife skill? So I thought the knife skills were going to be what was displayed during the preparation of the stir fry. Is this like now a class at the end?
This is the straw cape cutting method. The squid has curled into a cylindrical bloom. My shoulder barely moves. Using your other 3 fingers and your thumb to hold the knife securely enables fast cutting. When you hear this sound, you know that the potatoes are being shredded correctly. Push out and pull back.
Oh, okay, you know what? I think this is a commercial for maybe another video or a masterclass you can purchase, because they're just kind of going over... Okay, I think I know what this is. Okay, so that was the taste show with Chef John, and that was the easy beef recipe, black pepper beef stir fry. I'm not sure why it's called black pepper. All they did was, like, so in French cuisine, North American cuisine, European, all of that, we put salt and pepper on everything. So unless something like a pepper crusted steak, we wouldn't point out that there's black pepper. It's just kind of assumed that we have black pepper and everything. I'm not sure if that's, maybe that's the case in China, because like Szechuan peppercorns, like when we use, that's pretty much the only one that we'll point out. Maybe that's the case in China, that food isn't always necessarily seasoned with pepper. I don't know. If that's the case, let me know down below in the comment section. I'm interested. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed my first, probably my first. This is the first I've watched, maybe not the first I'll post, I hope you enjoyed this, my first watching of some Chinese cookery on YouTube. And I hope that everybody's enjoyed this. And now I can expand from just learning about India and Indian cuisine to their neighbor, China. I've chosen China next because it shares a border with India. And when looking at some quick research, I see that Chinese food is the second most common eaten cuisine in India. So I think this is just a natural progression through. At some point, I'm hoping to get up to 3 videos a week. Maybe we'll be doing India, China, and then other Asian market like Thailand or Japan or Indonesia, and then coming back to Europe or maybe North America. I'm thinking I might want to stick away from commercialized videos like Food Network shows and stuff like that, and just focus more on these more authentic chefs that are really, like these are the guys that are still slinging it in the restaurants. All right, anyways, I've rambled on enough for the closing. If you're still here, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, because remember, we're going to do our first viewer poll cooking at 2,000 subscribers. Last 28 days, I've added almost 200 subscribers, so it's not out of the realm of possibility to get this done in the next 4 weeks. Thank you very much. I've been Chef James, and you've been you.